I've been all over this world. I seen men die in ways I ain't even know was possible. Love you, brother. Be careful. I will. With all the things that I've seen, I ain't ever seen no demons, no ghosts, no magic. Till now. You get back inside.
Let me in, man. Some weird shit going on out here.
You keep dancing with the devil. One day he's gonna follow you home.
We've been gone a long time. We back now.
You twins?
Nah, we cousins.
There are legends of people with the gift of making music so true. It can conjure spirits from the past and the future. This gift can bring fame and fortune.
Well, somebody take me in your eyes.
But it also can pierce the veil between life and death.
Listen here. This ain't no house party.
Shit.
Y'all ready to drink? Y'all ready to sweat till y'all stink?
You want some?
You keep dancing with the devil.
Careful, boy. You gonna bite off more than you can chew.
One day he's gonna follow you home.
We got us a problem now. What the hell going on?
Oh, we heard tale of a party. This world already left you for dead. I can save you from your fate.
You don't need no saving.
Yes, you do.
And you are?
I am your way out. Don't cry. It's all better now.
Yes, I lied to you.
I don't believe in magic. Ghosts, demons. Just power.
Somebody please take me.
We gonna kill every last one of you.
I ain't mean to scare you. Thought y'all done forgot about me in here. Come on, open the door, let me on out of here.
Stay. It's you?
Of course it's me, open the door.
That ain't your brother.
Lied to you.
Yo, smell anything? I think I shot myself.
All praise to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS. Shalom to the hopefully elect. All right, this video is going to be a movie review for the movie Sinners, okay, which stars Michael B. Jordan is the main guy in the movie. Now, I don't usually do movie reviews a whole lot. Every now and again, when it's something that's out, I will do a movie review. In the beginning, I put a trailer, 2 trailers, in back to back, and I'll just tell you what I saw in the movie. It had some what's the word called? Some allegorical. It seemed like to me the whole movie was a gigantic allegory, right? We actually went and saw it last night. Me and the wife went and saw it. 720 show. So anyway, it reminded me somewhat of the movie Django, not really, because it wasn't focused on slavery. I think it was more focused on the time of sharecropping. It was sharecropping. So sharecropping is a period of time after slavery was so-called Negroes still did pick cotton, but they actually shared in the I don't know if they shared in the profits, but they actually got paid to pick cotton. My family, my grandparents, and my dad as a little kid even today, he was, my grandparents, which they had, how many sons? They had 3 sons, 5 daughters, and themselves. So they would wake them up early in the morning as kids, and they would sharecroppers. In my own family, that's just a generation away. So my dad now is, he's 73, roundabout. So just inside of 60, 70 years or so, probably more like 65 years ago, our people were sharecroppers. Anyway, going into that, the movie, what I noticed right away, Michael B. Jordan played, and this was set in 1932, Mississippi. So they showed they had some good scenery. The cinematography was real good. They showed the cotton fields. You had a lot of black people. You had some that we so-called free, but you had others that was in the chain gang and still picking the cotton, doing all of that. What I noticed right away in the movie is Michael B. Jordan played twin brothers, right? So one of the brothers was Elijah and the other was Elias, which I picked that up. So when you read in the scriptures, the prophet Elijah is called Elijah in the Old Testament. In the New Testament, when the Savior talked about him, his name is Elias. So I picked that up from hearing their names being called. Also, it was allegorical because it's a vampire movie. I'll just tell you right out. Now, the weird thing is that the so-called black people, they was just hard workers trying to make their way. Then you had the Edomites was KKK members, right? And then the regular white people, I'll say, was KKK members. And you also had some Chinese, a Chinese couple, and they hung with the black people. They had stores, they was merchants, but they stuck more with the black people. And there was even the scene where the Chinese people was calling the white man the white devils. And I noticed that they had the Chinese people looking more brown than anything. And they had this one chick who was mixed, so-called mixed. Now the vampires, oddly enough, the main vampire was Irish. And there's one scene in there where they was doing the Irish jig. And what the Irish vampire was doing, he was trying to make the black people, he was trying to turn them into vampires. But how he was doing it, he was telling them that he was he said that y'all don't know that y'all need to be saved. He said, because you don't have nothing here. These white people, all they're gonna do is what they always done. That's pretty much the emphasis. He said, they're gonna always do what they done, which is just set you up to kill you and to rob you and to murder you like that. So the Irish vampire was trying to get across to them, I'm a save y'all and we can be together forever. So what he's gonna do is turn them into vampires, and he figured they would live forever, right? So it was a powerful scene where they showed the Irish vampires, but they had to be invited to be able to come in, okay? They couldn't just come into the juke joint, they had to be invited. It's a lot if I'm rambling, I'm just telling you. This is a different kind of video. But the powerful scene to me was when, that one vampire, which they never gave his name, he had turned a lot of people, a lot of black people, damn near the whole juke joint, he had already turned them into vampires. And once they become a vampire, you share the same memories. So he would say, this vampire would tell him, also too, there was a thing with music, powerful, allegorically speaking, as far as music was concerned. There's one guy whose name was Samuel, right? Like the prophet Samuel, and his daddy was a preacher, and his daddy didn't want him playing the music, but he was gifted, he could play the guitar. And they showed you a neat scene in there where he was playing music and everybody kind of went into like a trance. And in the song, he was telling them that, or the narrator said that music transcends time, past, present, and future. So what you saw when he was playing the guitar, the different people in the crowd, you saw that fast forwarded into the future. He was still the same dude playing, but you saw people, a guy standing beside him playing a guitar that fast forwarded into the future, and he had an electric guitar. Then you saw other people in the scene that was dancing. Some of them, it looked like Parliament Funkadelic. Then some went back to African culture. You know, then they fast forwarded to hip hop. Then you started seeing people twerking, all in the same shot, in the same group. I thought that was kind of powerful. And then they showed the heavens above. While they were playing the music, it looked like there was a rip in space. And it was all like fiery. So, you know, it's a very spiritual movie. I haven't been able to process all of it. I'm sure some of the brothers out there, you will see it. You can process it. Of course, they had the regular old black, white narrative. But like I said, the only white people in it was the KKK. They was, you know, they were very disgusting as normal. And then you had the vampires who were Irish. The main vampire, then he had two other ones with him. And they never called themselves Irish. You just know the way they was talking and that Irish jig they was doing. And it was like a scene, like a big scene. And they was dancing around the juke joint trying to get in it. And they was doing the Irish jig. So as you know out there, you brothers and sisters should know that the Irish, it's been said that they were called green niggas or the niggas of Europe. As we try to tell you, you got a lot of Israelites among the Irish, okay? And you got a lot of so-called black people with Irish last names. I mean, I think some of the brothers in the UK, they go into that from time to time about, you know, the Irish and whatnot. Just like we tell you, I myself is Irish blood, you know, somewhat. My family and my wife's family, we got Irish names, Irish last names. So, you know, that kind of hit home a little bit. I was surprised by that. But again, the Irish vampire was telling the rest of the Jakes, you don't realize you need saving, but I'm here to help. I'm here to help y'all. We gonna be a family. He said we are family and we gonna be together forever, like that. But of course, it didn't turn out that way. So, you know, that's just some stuff that I saw. Of course, they had the black lady doing voodoo and shit. Oh, one real spiritual scene too was right here. They showing it right there. When the one in the beginning, the one vampire, the main guy, he was running, trying to get away, and he ran to these other white people's house. They wound up letting him in, and he turned them into vampires. But who was chasing him? Gad was chasing him. The so-called Native Americans. It was 3 or 4 of them, and they came up on the porch and they asked the lady. They said, "Did y'all see anybody?" And they said, "No, we didn't. We ain't see nobody." But what he did, he bribed the other white people to let him in. He gave them gold. He had gold coins, and he said, "This is not from this time." So he gave them gold coins to let him in the house. Once they invited him in, he was able to kill them. But before he killed them, the Native Americans was standing on the porch and they told him, "Are you hiding this guy in your house?" And the lady said, she had a gun in her face. She said, "Ain't nobody in here but me and my husband." And Gad looked right at her and told her, "He's not what he seems." Like that. He said, "He's not what he seems. He's not what he seems." And I think that, I'm trying to remember what kind of Indians they was. I think they was Choctaws. He said, because when the vampire was running, trying to get away, they almost killed him. But he was able to get inside. And they said one of the other Native Americans told the one main guy, "We gotta leave. It's getting late. The sun going down." So they hurried up and got out of the way. But before he left, he told the white lady, "We pray for you." He said it in the Indian language. He said, "We gonna pray to God for you, you know, that you be all right." So the whole thing. Now, one thing I did notice right also too, after processing it all, is that the Latinos were not even mentioned. There was no Mexicans in there, no Latino people in the movie. That kind of threw me for a loop. But you had the Native Americans, which represent the Northern Kingdom. You had the so-called Negroes representing the Southern Kingdom. Then you also had the Israelite foreigners, which was the Irish vampires, which they was against. They wasn't with the regular white people. Then you had the regular white people who represented the Edomites. They was KKK members. And then you had, of course, the black lady that was, she was something like a witch. And she was telling them what to do in order to kill these vampires. The dark-skinned lady. I forget her name. Her right there that just showed. But she was on, you know. Then you had Delroy Lindo, which he really, in my opinion, he stole the show. West Indian Archie from the Malcolm X movie. He stole the show. He was really good in the movie, but Michael B. Jordan played a good role too. I'm gonna see what kind of scriptures I can get here. All right, just bear with me here momentarily. So at the end of the day, the whole movie was a big allegory. I can't really process what it's all about. They got videos and shit on the internet telling you, you know, what it was about. You know, telling you what the deeper story behind it all. I'm seeing something heavy but they definitely put that Irish theme in there. As far as the vampires are concerned, you know that when the so-called Negroes came over here in slavery, you seen it in the movie 12 Years a Slave, that the Irish were indentured servants, which they were also slaves too, but they was actually free and they was getting paid. You know, indentured servant. Matter of fact, let's look up indentured servant. Let's do that. And there's history on that. So we're closely related, so-called Negroes, whether you believe it or not, whether you want to believe it or not. A lot of you Irish people out there, you're very closely related to so-called Negroes, but whatever, you ain't gonna admit it, and we don't give a shit. That's why we tell you we're not stuck on color, because we know that a lot of our people are in England and Scotland and all over there in Europe, even in the UK, even in Britain, Portugal, right? We all over there in Spain, all of that, Italy. So it's a very deep history with so-called Negroes, man. Define indentured servant. See what it says. An indentured servant is someone who agrees to work for a specified or for a specific period, usually without pay or with minimal pay, in exchange for something like transportation, lodging, or debt being forgiven. And in a lot of cases, sometimes the overseers of a plantation would employ indentured servants, you know, to look over their niggers or Negroes, right? Which were the Israelites. But we know again that, you know, you had during the Dark Ages, our people was all over there in Europe, man, all over there in Europe. Okay, so a lot of you people that see the indentured servants, they had it a little bit better because they did appear to be so-called white on the outside, but your average white man from London or, you know, from Poland or Switzerland or Germany, they look down on the Irish. Like I said, they call them green niggas or niggas of Europe. Okay, let me just read here Deuteronomy 28:64. And this is what it says. It says, "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods." So we as the Israelites have been scattered among every people. And as we tell you, in these last days, you're going to be really surprised at the people that come forth that want to follow the gospel, that want to be in the camps, that want to be a part of the truth. You're going to be surprised. You got to stop judging on that damn lens of black, white, you know, being that basic. Now, I ain't saying that because of this movie. This is something we've been telling y'all. But I'm telling you that it's known out there in the world, among Hollywood and among the scholars and everybody, they know how closely related Irish people are to so-called Negroes, okay? Matter of fact, I'll say Europeans in general, because you Jakes, you lean close to Africa, but our people, we have more people in Europe than we damn near had in Africa, even though we got a lot of people in Africa too. You got a lot of Negroes or people that go back to the tribes that's over there in Europe, and they don't look like your average Negro. They even had one lady that was in there, she was sweet on one of the brothers. I think she's what's that chick name, man? I can't remember her name. She married to she engaged to one of the football players. She engaged to Josh Allen that played for the Buffalo Bills. Haley Steinfeld is her name. In the movie, she played a girl that was now in reality she's Jewish, but in the movie she played a girl that her mother's father was half black, is what they said in the movie. So she could pass for a red bone almost. So in reality, she could really be a Jake. I don't know that. I don't know her background, but it is what it is. All right. Of course, they're gonna have the black church in there and all that, and the whole thing with the preacher and the preacher's son, because I think the dude's name was Preacher Boy, but his real name was Samuel. But you got all the biblical names that was in there too. Now again, this is Deuteronomy 28:64, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, of wood and stone. And we've been doing that. We've been worshiping all types of different gods. That's why you don't understand when we tell you about the Bible and the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. A lot of you you would prefer to follow Christianity, what you learned in slavery, or one of them other various religions. This is Luke 21:24. This is what the Lord said, Yahweh Shai, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So we were led away captive into all nations. It's unequivocal, without a doubt. There's a lot in this movie in regards to the Irish. You know, that's Haley Steinfeld right there. They just showed. It's a lot. Of course, it was adultery, witchcraft, fornication, all kind of shit in there, right? But at the end of the day, I say the movie was entertaining. It wasn't as good as I thought it would be, but it was entertaining. Anyway, that's all I got. I gotta go. But I would check it out. Every brother should probably see it, and you'll see something different in it. Okay? If you've seen it, let me know on the comment board what you saw in it. Biblical stuff I'm talking about. I ain't talking about, you know, things that can be related to the truth. You know what I mean? Anyway, all praise to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.